Welcome back, everyone, to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil. And I wanted to talk about Grand Arena today, and in particular, this was kind of brought up when I saw what happened in the current round here. For those of you guys who missed this, there was a scoring bug where at the beginning of the round, I started with 414 banners, more than my opponent. Now, as the match panned out, I wasn't really tracking my banners too closely because I dropped a battle early on and knew that I wasn't going to be able to beat him. But you look, and I did not, I dropped some banners, but I did not drop, 300 banners worth of points with a full clear. That's just ridiculous. So, but it gave me the idea, obviously CG right now, with this video, we've gone on the forums, we've seen that CG is going to be canceling this GAC season. Let me go here into the post where Crumb said they're aware, and then they said that there's going to be a hot fix, and then we're going to be rescheduling, and they're going to make good on the crystals. So, overall, not, terrible. It's not great. Like, GAC is a lot of fun, but I'm glad that they're canceling the season if they can't fix it. But what kind of sparked me to make this video was I saw this and said, you know what? There is an opportunity here to change the way scoring works in Grand Arena. And I kind of want to use my current round as a really good, scenario of how we could change the scoring a little bit to reflect that you have different sizes of rosters going head to head and how to ensure that you're not at a disadvantage or that you're always getting an advantage if you're the larger account. So I'm going to just walk through here real quick. So these are my 8 opponents here. So this guy, he's got 6.9 million GP. This account here, 7.6. This one here, 7.2. I have 6.1 million GP. This account here has 7 million. And we've got this guy here, 7.2. We have this guy with 6.1, right? Almost 6.2, but 6.1. And then 7.4 million GP. So I and, who was my first round opponent were the 2 lowest guys in here by a significant amount of GP. You're looking at almost, 700,000 for him and 800,000 for me to the next closest opponent. And even he was the smallest one after that, where everybody else was in the 7s. So I was kind of looking at this and thinking, how could we implement a scenario where you could have almost a handicap, right? To say that, your account is smaller, so you're going to get a benefit of, X number of points. And I was kind of toying around, and I kind of came up with like 2 ways you could do this, where kind of going super conservative for every 100,000 more GP that you have or that your opponent has, a point is awarded, right? That you get a bonus point. And how I think that, does that point really help? Well, 100,000, not really, but your accounts are pretty close together. But you think about if you were going up against somebody with like 1 million more GP than yourself, right? You get 10 points, which isn't a ton, but it is enough that it gives you some wiggle room, right? Where you're recognizing that you're probably not going to be as efficient as them because you don't have as large of a roster. So the next situation you could do is give out a point per 50,000, which I think kind of became a little more fair. And let me show you why I was thinking that. Is if I have 6.1 million and my opponent, if I was going up against somebody, let's just pick, oops, sorry guys, getting click happy here. So if I was going up against an opponent with, say, so this guy here, 7.6 million GP. So he has 1.5 million more GP than me. I would get a 30-point handicap against him. And you think like, 30 points, like that's, so much. But when you would think about it, he's got, just looking here, right? He's got 4 Galactic Legends, right? He has teams that I, don't even have geared up or thought about, right? You just look at the, account, and he's just got a lot of really good characters compared to my own, where I really don't, I've got 3 GLs. I've got, a decent account. Nothing crazy here, guys, But you start seeing I don't have nearly what he does. And So that 30-point buffer is meant to say that I'm probably going to have to two-shot something, or I'm going to drop banners in certain battles, right? And that's just not, we want to kind of look at that and say, how could we adjust those so that you could, oh, you know what? You can drop an executor battle because your opponent has X amount of GP more than you, that they should be more efficient with their banners, right? Or that they should be able to get a defensive hold. The last point you could do, right? So instead of looking at it from a GP perspective, somebody could say, oh, well, I have more GP, but they're more focused and have more GLs. And I could recognize that. And so the last point that you could do is assign a point total to each character. Galactic Legends are 100, Malak, General Skywalker, Jedi Knight Luke are, Star Killer are 95, or, you assign a point total to each character in the game. And that point total should represent things like, I was just using those characters as examples because they're all really good, but that pilots should probably should get more points than people who are not pilots because they're multi-use, right? That a character like Boba, Piet, Darth Vader benefit my roster a lot more because I can use their ships, right? Whereas someone who has a lot of GP in characters but doesn't have the ships, right? That can be a factor that can decide GACs. So you could do that and kind of develop a handicap based on, the difference in roster scores there. Again, I think that one would be a little bit more complex, where I think the GP one, while not perfect, would at least give you a little bit more of an accurate representation of, hey, you're up against it, here's a bonus. Let me know what you guys think. I just was thinking of this. I don't know that I would actually want this implemented, because eventually, I could be facing people with less GP than myself, and I don't want to give them points. But on the flip side, when I am facing these larger accounts, it would be nice to have a buffer. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like and subscribe. It's free. It supports the channel, and I can help grow this thing. And, we can just make sure that I'm able to provide you guys with good content. So if you like these kind of videos, just drop a like, leave comments, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.